how's it going? Brennan here, aka Mr. Weaverface. Thanks for watching, and as always, thanks for subscribing to the channel. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to fix up your Jittery Atari 2600 paddle controller. There's nothing more frustrating than when trying to play an Atari 2600 game and the paddle controls are horrific. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So here I have Kaboom set up, and I have the paddles plugged into port 1. And using the player 1 paddle, you can see I'm just moving it a little bit, and this thing is jumping all over the place. Like, there is no way you can get a high score with that. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Alright, and then player 2 paddle, you know, they're both plugged into the same port, obviously. But you can see how that is just moving around a lot better. Now there is a little lag there, but I think it's just because I'm playing on the high def television. But it is responding very good. You know, none of that jitteriness stuff going on. So in this video, I'm going to take apart paddle number 1. We're going to clean it out, and we're going to try to get this thing working in tip-top shape so we can play our games awesomely. Let's take a look. So here we go with the Atari paddle number 1. And what I'm going to use for this is rubbing alcohol, Phillips head screwdriver, a regular flathead screwdriver, toothbrush in case it gets really grimy, bunch of Q-tips, and some extra paper towels. Now, first thing that you want to do is take off the top part here. Okay, and you can see, even looking at that, it's, you know, a bit grimy, and this is just the grime I got off from cleaning the cables. And a lot of times when you get a Atari, you know, it's been sitting around a while with dust and dirt, and you know, it doesn't look dirty, but you take some rubbing alcohol on a paper towel and, you know, rub it all over the paddle. It cleans it up real good, and you get all this crap off of it. So as you can see, there is a nut here, and the other thing that you're going to need is a 9/16 inch drill bit. Not a drill bit, but, you know, a socket. And that's going to replace this on the top. But before you do that, I want you to unscrew the bottom 2 screws with a Phillips head screwdriver. And I'm going to show you what went wrong when I first tried to get this all loose. Okay, so this is the dial controlling the paddle, and then there's a, you know, button right here. So we can take the button out. I'm going to take that out. Now you can see these 2 loose pieces of plastic in there, and that wasn't like that before the video. There's actually 2 pieces of plastic sticking up from the bottom holding this into place, but it doesn't really hold it into place. Pretty much the nut here is holding it firmly, and I was just trying to screw this off so hard that it actually broke these plastic pieces sticking up that's holding it in place. So that's one mistake that I made that hopefully you guys will not make. Make sure you take the back off first, and then be able to hold this before you start trying to take this nut off. Otherwise, you're going to end up with some broken plastic pieces. Now, that's not a lost cause, though, because even despite these broken plastic pieces, if you screw this back on real tight, this is going to stay in place. And the paddle is, like, you can't go past a certain orientation on this, and that's controlled by this here, not by the plastic pieces sticking up there. So it's not a lost cause, but hopefully you guys won't make the same mistake and break off these plastic pieces. So now that I got the back off, I am going to hold this and use this to take off the nut. And if it's really hard to, you know, get loose, you know, just use a pliers. I just have this needle nose pliers, but you can use like a regular pliers, and, you know, just try to loosen it up, and that'll help you out. And then you can use this to take it off the rest of the way. Okay, so we got the nut off, and we're going to take that off and set all of this stuff aside. We're just working with this. All right, so we got this unit here, and we have 4 little pieces. These little flaps here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that we're going to have to bend back in order to be able to take this metal piece off. So let's do that next. And just be careful that you don't dig into yourself while doing it. So just kind of push away from you. Make sure your fingers are not in the way as you loosen that up. They're tough buggers, man, so just be careful. Okay, so we got that off. Oh my God, look how dirty that is. Oh my goodness. Look at all that crap in there. Oh! I'm glad I'm cleaning this out. Okay, so I think we figured out the problem. So, I mean, this is dirty here. We'll worry about that later. And there's all this freaking grease here where all these contacts are, and over here, and I'm sure this is freaking loaded with crap too. Oh man, and the inside of this, that is freaking gross. So we got our work cut out for us. Let's do one thing at a time. Let's clean this piece here. Man, look at that. Gross. So we're going to use this to clean off. Man. Like, I don't even care if it lubricates this. This is gross. I'm tempted just to bathe it in this stuff. I'm gonna need more Q-tips. All right, and this is problematic here. Like, look at all that. Try to get as much out with the Q-tips, and then we may have to, well, it's coming out pretty good. This thing is gnarly. I mean, you can even take this metal piece off the plastic if you want. I feel like I should. I could probably get underneath it without breaking it. Like, just look at that. And there's these contacts right here. There's like 6 contacts right there, and they're dirty too. Man, Let's get a Q-tip full of some rubbing alcohol and see if we can get this cleaned up a little better. There was someone over-greased this thing, man. No wonder this thing isn't working. I feel like I want to get all that stuff underneath there, though. Yeah, toothbrush is doing pretty good with that. I'll just... Yeah, that cleaned off really good underneath there. Let's clean off that with some rubbing alcohol. And this thing is so yellowed. What, 30, 40 years of yellowing there of plastic? Takes its toll. So I think these contacts here are pretty good now. Cleaned underneath there real good. Cleaned on that side too real good. There's a little bit of debris there yet. Yeah, the brush definitely gets it out a lot easier. And that bottom is not critical, but yeah, let's clean this out here. This is taking longer than I thought just because of how dirty this was in here. Holy crap. Yeah, someone like over greased it. All right, so that's good. So these two pieces are good. But the main issue is this one, because this is like the sensor for the paddle. And I mean, it's like wet. That's not cool. So use our rubbing alcohol and see how much crap comes off of this thing. Look at that. Use the toothbrush too. Just to kind of get in those little holes there. I would not recommend using this toothbrush for your mouth when you're done. This looks so gross. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Now the other side, this is the main part, the main issue. Look at all that crap, man. Coming off of that ring. Even on the flip side. Let's keep cleaning it until nothing's coming off. Because this is the critical part, because those contacts on here that are sticking up make connection with that black ring there. And if the black ring is dirty, or if that's dirty, it's not going to have some good response time. That's what gives you all the jitteriness. Still stuff coming off there. Let's use a dry one, see. A little bit yet. Yeah, make sure you have tons of Q-tips, because I thought I had enough, and as you can see, we went through like at least 8 of them, I think. Rubbing alcohol is great to clean stuff because it evaporates and air dries. Let's try a couple more yet. I think it's pretty good. Do one more. That still was looking a little gnarly. Like, look how much dirt this thing picks up over the years. I mean, when you were a kid and playing Atari, did you wash your hands every time you used it? Oh man, these things are a wreck. You know, we could probably clean this all day and still get stuff off of it. It's crazy. I mean, it looks so much better though. And there's still dirt coming off of that. I mean, it's not as bad. Yeah, I think we're good. Just try to clean up. You know, a lot of the stuff may be coming off from the side of the black ring. Yeah, I mean, because look, there's still stuff coming off there. I mean, there was freaking black grease in these little holes on the underside. Let's take one more to it. Just a little bit on that. It's pretty good. Okay, we're going to call that clean. Okay, now to assemble it back together. So the contacts are going to be touching the black side here, so put it in through like that. Alrighty. Well, first of all, hold on. So the way this kind of, you know how I said it doesn't matter if you, obviously you don't want to break the plastic pieces on the controller part. But when you have it in here, I mean, you see that notch right down there? That's what's preventing this from doing like a full rotation, just clockwise or counterclockwise indefinitely. So when you have it on there, you turn it. That plastic piece is hitting that as resistance. So you're still going to have that stop on either side. But normally when you're playing an Atari game anyway, it's, you're not really going to the extreme sides. Like the sensitive part is like just, kind of like right in the middle there. All right, so that's how we're doing. Take the metal piece in the bottom, put this on like that with the post sticking up. Put this on with the black down. As such. And let's clean off this piece yet, because we didn't clean off that. Our main focus was everything else. But if we're putting it back in good shape, we want to clean it up real good here. Man, look at that crap. We may need to use the toothbrush for this, for the grooves. Look at that gnarliness. Another reason why I want to get some good working paddles going is that, you can use the Atari paddles for the Commodore 64, and I got Arkanoid for the Commodore, and I want to play it real well. I mean, there's a lot of grub on in the grooves there. I mean, you can run a fingernail on each groove there. I don't know if it'll really do anything though. It's coming along. All right, that looks pretty good. I honestly didn't think this is going to be this messy. Otherwise, we'd be done by now. All right, so back to this thing. Remember this metal piece in the bottom goes like that, with the post sticking up. Black ring down to face the contacts. You see these little wings sticking out? They go in between these two posts here. Okay, we got that, and then we have the metal piece as such. And we're going to clamp down these back on to this metal piece. You can use regular pliers too. You don't need to use a needle nose. That's all I grabbed there. Okay, that's on there pretty good. All right. Now let's just clean the inside of that because that's kind of messy too. Okay, so when we had it, this was in this position. Those were where the two posts were, right there. So you can put it in that position, okay, and hold it while screwing down the nut. Okay. So let's just hold this real good. Okay, we're still in good position. Now, just go tight, just a little bit. You don't have to go too much. All right, that's good. So see, it's catching. Now, one thing I can say though is, you know how it's all greased up. I mean, you can add grease to the bottom plastic piece that's connecting to the metal, so it doesn't have a lot of friction. But I think it's going to be fine. All right. So the button goes in. Actually, these two wires coming out of the button, they actually kind of straddle this plastic piece right here. Like right like that. Pretty much like right by the screw hole there. And you put this in. You can't put it in upside down, it won't fit. You can see how this long end, there's a little indentation there. That goes towards this way. Obviously, it connects into that. And there's tabs sticking up here. They go on the inside of the controller. Like that. So. Okay. And then we got this guy. Push down into there. You can see on here there's like a flat piece on the insulation, and then there's like a little, it's more rounded on the one side, and it's more rounded here. So I would put the more rounded side there on the bottom and then push down. That'll get it in there real good. All right, and just assemble the top. Put the screws in. And assemble the top piece. So what do you think, guys? A lot better? I mean, compared to before, it is not jumping much at all. I mean, it was a little jumpy when I first plugged it in, but then if I just moved it, you know, just rotate it back and forth a bunch of times, it's really good right now. Like, that looks very good to me. That was my first time repairing a Jittery Atari 2600 paddle. Made a mistake there early breaking off those two plastic pieces. Remember, just take off the Phillips screws first. Take that bottom piece off. Hold the round piece before trying to take that nut off, because that nut was on there tight and I totally broke those two plastic pieces. So try not to do that. And also, who knows what you're going to get when you open one up, because it was freaking greasy and grimy and it was dirty in there. So that took a little extra time, more than I expected. But we got to put back together and it's working 100%. Awesome. So if this video was helpful to one of you guys, please click that thumbs up button. If there's anything else that I could do differently with fixing that paddle or something that you could improve upon, please comment in the comment section below. Or if you just want to say, hey, Mr. Weaverface, nice job, I could use the encouragement, because sometimes I don't know what I'm doing once in a while. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I am Mr. Weaverface. Take care. We're going to beat this guy catching all his bombs, man. Oh man, this is getting a little crazy. Oh man.